this format is kind of lame, and things have been the same. That was
So
bad. That
today,
was bad.
no, that was not bad. That was bad.
Oh,
Are
it
we
was
gonna
like pretty
redo
bad.
it?
No, no, no. We'll go with it. We'll go with it.
All right, all
It's a
right.
little chopped.
We're here. We're recording today. Like Jackson said, the format's lame. It's been the same for too long. So we're gonna go ahead and look back at. I think we got some 2018, 2019 decks on Limitless. We're gonna go through, drop some lore of some old decks, especially for our viewers that might not know what a lot of these cards did or why they were good. We're gonna talk about some Pokemon history. I'm actually really excited about this.
This is more exciting than going through the half-filled lists from Japan and Korea. I looked through them a little bit. There was nothing there to talk about. Also, I don't mean this wasn't actually intentional, but this is the era of the Wonder Tag.
Yo, it was the era of the Wonder Tag. Oh, we're gonna have to include that into the title and the thumbnail somehow. Like,
The era of the
we'll
Wonder
figure it
Tag.
out.
Yeah.
The era of the Wonder Tag history, something like that.
Yeah. So this 2018 format actually was pretty fun from the expanded events. I'm excited to share some of these expanded decks. I know 2019 was truly the peak of terrible in expanded with tag teams, but
Yeah, like
20
Trevnor tag team.
yeah, 2018 was pretty bad as well. There's some absolutely toxic combinations that I think our viewers will like to hear about that. So yeah, we don't really have anything to talk about in current meta developments. If you want to hear our thoughts, I'm sure we'll bring it back, a week or two before Toronto. But there's nothing going on. We got the holidays, so I hope everyone just enjoys some relaxing Christmas vibes. We're gonna take a step away from the serious Pokemon chat and just do something a little bit more leisurely. We haven't had a leisure episode since we decided you're like tier 7 decks from the from the Shadow
Or the
Ball.
Shadow Ball. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's get it going here. I'll get our screen share going. I have the Limitless. Limitless is actually such an excellent tool. You can filter
Amazing.
in so many ways. So I have the 2017-18 season from Limitless pulled up, and we were looking through a little bit of the tournament schedule before going live, and there were a lot of special events. That is what I noticed. Now, people might call me the special event farmer for going to the 350 person special event, but holy man, 29, 49, 36, 38. There's so many special events here. It's actually like unbelievable how many special events they have. That's
How many people were in Buenos Aires this year?
dude, there's 350.
200?
350, man.
350. Yeah, 350. That's like the size of some of these regionals.
I know, man. Like that's kind of shocking to me, to be honest. 350 feels like nothing, but back in the era of 2017-18, and this is a year for everyone that is watching that we weren't even in Masters, so we don't really have as much of a grasp how big the Master tournaments were. We have like a relative grasp, but we weren't actually participating in the biggest fields. We were playing 70, 80, 90 person senior tournaments. These events are still like ridiculously small comparatively. Even the biggest regionals here, you got like 730 person Madison regionals, and then NAIC even 1445. That's a decent sized tournament, but smaller than any North American regional. Even like a Vancouver. Vancouver's always been pretty small.
Is that true? Has it been bigger than 1500?
I want to say yes. I feel like that last year for Vancouver's got to be bigger than 1500. I'll find out. Vancouver,
probably pretty close.
2025, 13, 14. Oh, so actually not.
Oh, so it's a bit smaller, yeah.
It's a little smaller. Actually, when I did this same tournament, Vancouver in 2022, let me see if I can pull it up, or 2023, maybe. Yeah, this one.
I finished 500.
I finished 22nd with Arceus Pika, but it's only 500 people. I like went 6-1 and went 3-2 day 2, and I finished 22nd place.
Oh my gosh.
That is
compare that now, and it's like you can go X1 in day 2 and still not top 32. I think, right? Is that true?
Easily,
true, right?
You go 8, dude. You go 8-6. There's no shot you're making. There's no shot you're making top 32. Yeah, I think you lose like 3 times and you're not even making 32.
Yeah.
It's the tournament size differences are huge. Like making top cut at this tournament, I don't know exactly what the record would have been, but it probably would have been like I don't know, like a 10-3-1, something like that.
Yeah.
It's really, really easy to make top cut. Something like that.
Compared to what it is now. It still
Yeah.
wasn't easy. There's a lot of good players and whatnot, but the record was definitely a lot easier than what is it today to make top cut usually? And
A
11-2-2?
uh,
11 no. Yeah,
no.
11-2-2?
No. It's always it's 11-1. 11-1.
11-1. 11-1.
11-2 is like the bare minimum before they switched to the modified system with 12 rounds. So like the 2023-2024 year, 11-2 I think was on the bubble. And then when we got to like the really, really big ones, you had I think it was 12, yeah, it was 12-3 was like the cutoff. And I think that at that NAIC there was like one tournament where someone bubbled at 12-3. I think.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So we start at the start of the season. I'm at the end of the season here.
Yeah,
Start at
start at the beginning.
At the beginning here. Dude, this is I noticed this in the 2018-19. We were considering doing 2018-19 and we decided to do 2017-18. They have this random regional in July before Worlds, but it's for the next season. So they have this Liverpool regional that was kind of in that dead space because now with the off season we have like this little break, right, where you have 2 months essentially with no majors, but in these couple of years they just have this regional kind of just chilling in that off time in the summer. It's kind of cool actually. I guess it makes it like a 24. Yeah, it makes it like I guess it's kind of nice to have a break in some senses, but also if people want to really do the grind and spread it out, then it gives people more time on the calendar.
Yeah, especially like in the summer, it's nicer to go on vacation then sometimes, right? For a
Yeah,
lot of jobs.
to Liverpool. Yes.
Yeah, okay. Well, maybe not Liverpool.
So this is 2017 Worlds format at the start here. This is not actually technically 2017-18 really, but this is like peak Garbodor. So for any
we can look at Tord's deck.
Let's look at Tord's deck. Screw the winner, man. Let's look at Tord's deck.
It's gotta be good. Yo, 4 Tapu Leles.
He won. Yeah, this is the list that he won NAIC with as well. This is like directly after NAIC. This is oh my gosh, it's actually like such a streamlined list. Like it looks beautiful to look at this. He's got nothing. He's got nothing in there. He's got nothing in there.
All of his lists from this era were so beautiful. It was always like people were always playing less than 4 of all these cards like Tapu Lele and stuff like that. Choice band. I don't think everyone was playing 4 choice band, 4 floatstone. Like he just made all the decks more simple and it was amazing.
Yeah. So for our viewers who did not play in this format, there are a few cards that you should know. Now, let's start off with this one Wonder Tag Tapu Lele. So
what a great start.
What a great start. It's quite possibly one of the best Pokemon to ever be printed. There's a lot of Pokemon that have done what Tapu Lele do, but Tapu Lele is the only Pokemon that has a productive attack with the ability. So Wonder Tag is very similar to Lumineon V. When you bench it, search for a supporter, put it into your hand. One of the most universally powerful abilities. But they took Tapu Lele and they also gave it the Energy Drive attack. And when this card was announced, this is kind of coming on the tail end of the Mewtwo EX era. Mm-hmm. And Mewtwo EX had X-Ball, which was effectively the same attack as Energy Drive, except X-Ball did weakness and resistance, whereas Energy Drive did not do weakness or resistance. But Energy Drive is 20 times for every energy attached to both actives, which on the surface might not seem like much to a 2025 player. But this damage adds up to a 2-shot very, very quickly, and double colorless was legal in this format. Not even double turbo, but double colorless, which is just an unconditional 2 colorless energies. So you were able to Energy Drive on turn 1 for a reasonable amount of damage. And I think some versions of the of this deck, or not even this deck specifically, but you could even like donk with Energy Drive if your opponent like attached an energy to a Rockruff. I feel like that was something that people had to consider.
Zorua.
Yeah,
you had to like not attach your energy. I think Tapu Lele might be one of the only cards that was actually reverse power crept, right? Like usually like cards with similar effects get more HP and are better as time goes on. But Luminion V came out after Lele and like is objectively worse.
Hey, don't sleep on Aqua
Which
Return,
is kind of
man.
funny.
Aqua Return
Okay,
was
yeah, it was really good in Lugia,
in Lugia,
especially, right?
yeah, specifically Lugia, because your deck was the most broken deck of all time. That's a whole nother story. But
Maybe a future episode.
I hope not. That's a terrible format. I was just sitting there
We'll skip
playing.
that
I
one.
was sitting there playing Arceus Pikachu. I had no interest in playing Lugia that format, and I just should have played Lugia.
Yeah, no, me too. Me
Okay,
too.
wheezy.
But yeah, so some other things about this Drampa deck. Essentially the way it worked, you had Drampa, which was I think one of the most hard-hitting Pokemon in the format. Definitely one of the like easiest ways to do 180 damage. You had 3 energy Berserk for 80, and if any of your bench Pokemon were damaged, you did 150. Get a choice band on there, that's 180, which was kind of the benchmark number. You'll see, I mean, of course, Drampa and Tapu Lele had 180. All of the really playable Pokemon at the time had this HP. So this was really, I mean, and now you look at a card like this and it looks pretty sad, but at the time that was good damage. And then the real star of the show was Trashalanche, Garbodor. Well, and the other Garbodor. They're both exceptional. Trashalanche, 20 damage for each item card in your opponent's discard for 1 psychic. So again, if your opponent has, about 9 item cards, you're dealing 180 damage, and it's pretty easy to have 9 items in your discard.
Yeah,
So
especially the way
the
decks were
whole
built.
format, yeah, the whole format kind of had to shift around this card when it came out.
And important to note as well, tool cards were considered items. So when you put these choice bands and these float stones on your Pokemon, you were fueling the trash lunch. So even I think this kind of deck here that we look at was actually like more of an anti-item engine than the average deck in this format. But even this deck plays 10, 11, 12, 16, 20 items. A third of its deck is items, and this was considered like an anti-Garbodor deck at its time. Like it took a slower approach to the entire engine. Like the Rainbow Energy was Rainbow Energy provides any energy, but when you put it on, you take a damage counter. So it played like a very slow approach to this Berserk method. So it would just use Rainbow Energy to get 1 damage counter on one of its bench Pokemon. So you actually needed 3 attachments to get into a Berserk for 150. It was very, very slow. And you played like the full 4 Sycamore, 4N. Sycamore's research N is very similar to Iono, but you shuffle into your deck as opposed to putting it on the bottom. Yeah, it was a very, very streamlined deck, but it kind of came out of nowhere. Everyone playing Drampa Garber this time was playing things like Team Magma's base, which is like it puts damage counters on one of your bench Pokemon when you put it down to power up Berserk. It's like super janky. This version of the deck just streamlined everything. You took all the bad cards out of your deck and you put in more float stones, more choice bands, more Tapu Leles. The 4 Lele is ridiculous. That's
so good. Gets turn 1 Bridget. Oh yeah, you can play a supporter on turn 1. I think we forgot to mention that.
We did forget to mention that. This is a very big difference. It was unless you played a deck that attacked on turn 1 and you really, really needed to attack on turn 1, which most people didn't, you just always went first. I don't think there was like a single viable deck here that chose first blind or chose second blind.
No, you just go first, Lele for Bridget, get 3 basics. A lot of decks were doing Lele for Bridget on turn 1.
Yeah. And it's just like,
what were the other decks in this format? I don't even know.
Let's look at the proper standings here. We can look at the meta share. Garbodor's taking up about 25% of the meta. Decidui number 2 at 15%. Alolan Ninetales. Oh, this deck was kind of janky. It won Worlds in that year in seniors though. At 10%. Yeah, I mean there's a lot of like fringe stuff that was really cool, but it just wasn't all that good. Like this Mega Rayquaza deck, actually, if I click on it, it's going to show different lists that aren't from this tournament. This Mega Rayquaza deck was like really, really bad, but really cool. And people just like to play it because you did a lot of things. It took basically nothing to swing for 240. But the price of doing 240 was putting like three 110 HP Pokemon on your board and discarding like 7 items on turn 1.
Yeah.
This deck.
Oh, and we didn't talk about Garbotoxin either.
No, we probably should talk about Garbotoxin.
Yeah. Yeah, so Garbotoxin, the other Garbodor, the not Trashlanch one, it just says if it has a tool on it, no Pokemon have abilities, like just a better Path to the Peak, or what are the other ability lock cards we have nowadays? Watchtower, I guess.
Watchtower, Power Plant,
Fluttermane,
Klefki. I don't know. This is the best ability lock though, because all these ability locks have some sort of conditionality. This one just says nope, everything sucks. Which was very powerful, but the way that the format was set up, there wasn't as many really, really powerful abilities as there are now. Like no one was truly running their entire engine through a card like Pidgeot, or even like Recon Directive or Psychic Embrace. Like most of the abilities were kind of like supporting cast abilities. Like Wonder Tag obviously is like a very, very strong ability, but that wasn't the purpose of your deck, right? You weren't running your entire deck through that engine. And most of the stronger abilities, like we talked about this Decidueye deck. This Decidueye deck is very, very reliant on the Feather Arrow ability. Just puts 2 damage counters on a Pokemon, but it wasn't like you lost the game immediately if you didn't have this ability for 1 turn. The way that if you had Garbotoxin and shut off Psychic Embrace for like 1 or 2 turns, the deck just completely falls apart. So the abilities are very strong, but not quite as strong as we see today. But we did have our own form of tool removal. So just very similar to Tool Scrapper, we had Field Blower, discards tools and stadiums. I actually hope that this card gets a reprint. I like this. I think this card's like a very, very powerful. Very, very powerful when the effects of the cards aren't like super, super strong, but they're like both combined pretty good. It is a very, very strong card. I also like the secret rare ones. All the secret rares from the Sun and Moon era are like my favorite secret rares.
So nice.
It's so nice. And they're all like $2 now. They're so cheap. I'll occasionally like scroll through Facebook Marketplace for cards, and then I'll see these like Sun and Moon era full arts come up, or secret rares come up. I like actually went out of my way and bought some secret level balls and Pokemon Communications for the day where they're gonna reprint them at some point, and when they do, I'm gonna have them.
Ready.
I'm ready. They're gonna be like $100 when they get reprinted, but right now they're like $10. So smart investment.
There you go.
Maybe.
That is actually really smart. They'll come back.
I hope so.
Pokecom. They've been reprinted before. They'll probably be reprinted again.
So yeah, I mean this is really 2017 Worlds format that we're talking here. It's not actually the 2018 format, but this format was just dominated by Garbodor. Everything played a bajillion items. There was no way to avoid playing a bunch of items. Even these decks like Volcanion, like they had the anti-item versions of the deck, but they just played a ridiculous amount of items. And everyone had the same supporters that we have now. Sycamore, Research, and Iono, Boss, Lysander, but they also played VS Seeker, which is like a really, really strong card, like an insanely strong card, but was really, really good to be a Garbodor deck at this time. I do remember a regional in this format, and it was like the first regional. I'll pull it up. It was the first regional where Garbodor was legal, and I had Garbodor sleeved up, and then for no reason, I just switched. Do you remember the Gyarados deck with where you like had to bench the Magikarps and put 2 damage counters on them?
Yes, bro.
So bad.
It was not good.
It was terrible.
At these results.
Like this is a regional from 2017. Yeah, this is the first regional where it was legal. It's just it's like 75% Garbodor. It's just ridiculous.
No, the combo of ability lock plus N-to-1 was just insane. Like imagine today you're playing Gardevoir and you just get put down to 1 card with no abilities, and then your attacker gets knocked out by a 1 prizer. It's just ridiculous. Yeah, the Trash Lunch plus the Garbotoxin in the same deck is so synergistic too. It was just broken. Yeah. Anyways, that was some 2017 stuff. We'll get on to our 2018 format here, which is the primary focus. What's the first major of the year here? We got Fort Wayne.
This is gonna be. Oh, is this expanded?
Oh, it's expanded.
Yes. This is what I'm excited for. Expanded is black and white, was black and white to whatever set was legal all the way up until they just got rid of expanded in COVID. And you had some
We should bring it
absolutely
back.
ridiculous decks. And this was like the start of the ridiculousness. It wasn't like quite crazy yet,
This
but
was
we were
so tame,
we
so
were
tame.
we were getting there. Oh my gosh, it has the base set computer search. They don't even have the A spec computer search here on Limitless. What a
Oh
shame.
my gosh. All right, you want to explain Night March or should I take this one?
Dude, take it. Yeah, take it.
All right. So essentially, this is Night March, super iconic deck of. This was really, I mean, 2016. This was standard legal, and it was good in standard from what I remember. Um, but in expanded, it was insane. Essentially, Night March for 2 colorless energies on the Joltik. It does 20 damage for each Night March Pokemon in your discard. So you play 12. You can put 11 of them in your discard. Well, technically, you can actually put all 12 in your discard if you look at Marshadow. Marshadow copies the attacks of Pokemon in your discard. So this let you discard all 12, and you could do 240 for a double colorless. Now,
Just one energy on a basic, and you can do
yeah,
240.
one energy on a one prizer. Especially, I think the Marshadow was like kind of whatever, really, but like doing 220 on a one prizer for one energy, like we said, 220 is killing pretty much every Pokemon in this format. I mean, is there a Pokemon we're missing for 240? Oh my god, yeah, Battle Compressor. Yeah, this card's ridiculous. Um, I, at first glance, it says discard 3 cards from your deck to an item card. Like in theory, why would you want to do this? But it's actually incredible. Your ability to just discard your whole deck very quickly, including
Dude,
your Night March Pokemon.
this is an A spec
your
these days, man.
Is it? Oh yeah, Blender discard 5. Um, you could discard all your supporter cards. Oh my god. So if you look back at the list, you play one of all of your supporter cards, you discard them all with Battle Compressor, and then you just play them using Versus Seeker for the whole game, which just gave you such insanely reliable access to a variety of overpowered effects. We got to read Getsus. This card was like a terror of the expanded format for years.
It's
Your
banned
opponent,
and expanded. It's just,
yeah,
most of these cards aren't legal, by the way. They had a ban list and expanded, and when expanded started, it was like 2 cards, and it worked its way up to like 30 of them, and they're almost all control cards.
yeah. Oh my gosh, there's some insane control decks, but Getsus, you look at your opponent's hand, you shuffle away all their item cards, and you draw 1 for each item. So not only are we crippling our opponent, we're also drawing cards, and you could do this going first. So before your opponent can play the game, sometimes you would just shuffle away 5, 6 of their cards away. I mean, if you look at this Night March list, I think there's probably got to be 30 items
30.
in it.
Yeah, that's the thing you have to keep in mind here with this kind of effect. Erie's legal now, which is in some ways a stronger effect than gets this. But when you look at how these decks are actually built, a lot of times just don't even get to play the game before turn 1. So this kind of stuff is pretty incredible. Especially, I think Archeops must have still been legal for this one too, right? We'll get to an Evil Tall Maxis. This would have been like the tail end of Evil Tall. And I think it's probably worth mentioning this one here as well.
Yeah, Hexmaniac just says during your opponent's next turn, none of their Pokemon have abilities. Pretty good. Garbodor, you can be countered. You can discard the tool with a field blower. Nowadays, comparing to Path to the Peak, you could bump the stadium. Even like think about Jellicent, right? Against Jellicent, you can use Bundle, you can use Boss. You can't do anything to a Hexmaniac. You just have no abilities for a whole turn, which for some decks was very, very crippling.
Yeah, this is a pretty insane card, especially because with VS Secret you could chain it on back-to-back turns. So you would run into some of your bad matchups that you maybe couldn't really deal with, and if you were fortunate enough to chain Hexmaniacs, your opponent couldn't really do anything. The Greninja Break matchup, Radiant. Why do I keep saying Radiant? Greninja Break. Like discard, it had an ability like discard a water, do 6 damage counters to a Pokemon. Every Night March Pokemon is 60 or less, so really, really bad if it gets set up. But if you can just chain Hexmaniacs for 2 turns, well, they can't do anything. So this is an absurdly broken card, and turns a bunch of matchups into being favored. And then this one as well, also banned and expanded. Puzzle of Time. You may play 2 Puzzle of Time cards at once. If you play 2 cards, put 2 cards from your discard pile into your hand. Any 2 cards from your discard pile. So you had like the most ridiculous amount of recursion in this deck. You didn't even really need to play. You didn't really have to play any Pokemon recursion in this deck. I think some lists occasionally played like 1 Pokemon recovery, but you could just, if you ran out of attackers for some reason, you could even just puzzle them back. You could puzzle for your double colorlesses back. You had special charge as well. There are 2 cards to the right. Shuffles 2 specials from the discard. So it's that ridiculous recursion. You get pretty much any card in any situation back in the right circumstances, and your engine was just really, really strong. Your battle compressor, and you're discarding all these bad Pokemon from your deck. You're discarding all the supporters, and then you just play out of your discard pile the entire game. It's a really, really strong strategy. You kind of compare it to Gholdengo in some respects. You know, once Gholdengo gets all of its energies in the discard pile and just has superiors left and ways to draw cards like Nest Ball for Fez and Fighting Gongs for its remaining 1 or 2 fightings, and just draws everything and draws its superiors, and you just play out of the discard pile. It's a very, very effective way to play the game.
Yeah, no, it was broken.
See if I can find. Go ahead.
I also I see Israel Sosa's deck.
The King of Eviltal. Oh, this was
also
it's actually one of the more fair versions of Eviltal, honestly.
Yeah. So one last thing on the Night March.
Yeah.
The Hexmaniac chaining. This Hexmaniac chaining thing was like, it dominated the expanded format for a long time, where you would just go first. Shaman would draw you up to 6 cards. You could Shaman multiple times in a turn. And you would just Shaman a bunch of times, draw a bunch of cards, play Hexmaniac. Then your opponent couldn't Shaman. And then you would just Hexmaniac for every turn for the whole game. Super toxic. But yeah, we can take a look at this.
Dude, there's not even an Eviltal Maxis in this format. Eviltal Maxis is actually like filtered out by this time. Eviltal Maxis card is banned in GLC now, I think recently. So actually some people might have played GLC and been aware of this one. It has an ability on an Archeops that just says your opponent can't evolve Pokemon. Or they can't evolve Pokemon from their hands. So you can like evolve from the deck. So like an effect like TM Evo would work. But this Archeops card you could get out and play on turn 1 with Maxie's Hidden Ball Trick, which, like, if you was the only card in your hand, you could put a fighting Pokemon from your discard pile onto your board and draw 5. So you can get Archeops on the board turn 1, and then you couldn't evolve, which meant the entire expanded format had to either not play evolutions, or they had to play like super gimmicky ways to get out evolutions from the deck. So they play like Evo Soda, which evolved through the deck, or they'd play a Wobbuffet that shut off the Archeops' ability that they had to get in the active before they could evolve. It was just ridiculously. This Eviltal Darkrai deck we have pulled up is actually like super fair comparatively to a lot of the decks that I've seen. Still very powerful, but just looks very, very straightforward. This looks like the kind of deck that Israel would do good with. Israel, I think, won 3 regionals with Eviltal or Darkrai decks.
Yeah, a lot.
And he was like really like the king of this archetype. But this archetype I actually don't think is super, super strong. I think it's more so a testament to how strong of a player he was. He's playing like the 4 Hypnotoxic Lasers, also one of the most broken item cards. Flip a coin. Your opponent's active Pokemon is now poisoned. Flip a coin. If heads, they're also asleep. Super, super powerful in a format where most people didn't even play any switching effects. It was normally just Floatstone to retreat for free. So you got put to sleep and you stayed asleep, then it was pretty bad for you. Although looks like this is the Burning Shadows format where Guzma was just released. Guzma ends up being is a boss, but it's actually like the Prime Catcher effect, so you also get to switch. So you could I guess you could play out of the laser a little bit more. I don't think this one's actually too exciting.
No, me neither. What else do we have to look at here? What? These decks all look so fair to me. I feel like
this deck's gotta be bad, man. There's a Volcanion in this format. This just seems like super, super troll. Oh,
yeah.
There's one card we're talking about in here. So we can see that Sam Chen finished second here and lost in the finals. He plays this card called Karen. So Karen has an effect that shuffles all Pokemon in both players' discard piles into their deck. So this Night March deck that we're talking about, you have to get like 8 Pokemon in the discard pile to one shot any Pokemon essentially. This card shuffles them all back, and despite that, the Night March deck still won through like this card was like deliberately printed as like a hard counter, the way that they print like a side deck for Dusknoir, but
it's our Spiritomb for Mew VMAX.
Yeah,
and it didn't work.
It just doesn't work. The only way that this card actually really worked is if you played the Karen and then you item locked your opponent. So sometimes you'd see
battle compressor.
You'd see like a random copy of Seismitoad EX. I think we pulled up the list from Israel Sosa played a Seismitoad EX. So you would like Karen shuffle all their Pokemon from the discard into the deck and then just sit there and swing for 30 for the entire game. But it wasn't even good enough because you also even had Tapu Lele. So with Tapu Lele, you could put a double colorless on there and just start smacking the Seismitoad for 80, and within 3 turns it's dead. So you couldn't even really maintain your item lock. You'd have to break item lock, and then they just go back to trading 2 for 1 once they get all their guys in the discard pile, which they would.
What a broken deck.
Yeah, it's so cool. I don't know if there's anything else.
Jack Carter's Gardevoir deck? Is that Mega Gardevoir GX?
No. This is literally just a standard deck. This was like a standard Guardy GX in this format, except it had like VS Seeker. Because I think VS Seeker at this point. No, VS Seeker was legal in this format. I don't even really know if there was anything new about this. This was like the first format where Gardevoir GX was legal. It was not very good and expanded. But
no, I didn't think so.
Yeah, this deck actually did not really have any cards that were only expanded legal in here, to be honest. When we're looking at expanded legal cards, it's mostly like the early Black and White era stuff.
Get this.
Yeah. So like Colress would have been expanded at this point, but most of these other cards are from the Sun and Moon era, so they would have been legal and standard at this point. So yeah, this is a very, very fair deck as well. But I mean, a lot of these expanded decks, they utilize the really, really powerful item cards and supporter cards, which couldn't really get power crept necessarily. And then they would take new Pokemon that are just more and more powerful along with the broken trainer effects and then create some sort of monstrosity.
That's a good description.
Yeah, monstrosity is a good one. I don't know. There's not actually that much crazy stuff. I think you have to get like a little bit further in the 2018 format. Should we just kind of go through all the expanded stuff and then go to standard? Because they're like kind of like 2 completely separate formats.
Yeah, let's go through all the expanded ones and stay on theme, and we can do another video where maybe we talk through the standard format.
Yeah, this one right here is a few months later, Ryan Stablehouse. Winning with it's the tool drop. You got the tool drop tradition there. That was kind of fun. Although I didn't actually play that many tools. It was more like an early game attack. It was kind of like a Soul Rock style attack where you kind of like get it turn 1, turn 2, and you just like swing with a 1 prizer. Tool drop, very cool attack, doing 20 times for every tool in play. Pretty solid card. You play a bunch of tools, you swing for a 1 prize knockout early in the game, and it just paces well as you play throughout the game. Your opponent discards more item cards, and then eventually you just kind of get into this Garbodor strategy we were talking about a little bit earlier. Main difference with this deck being that it employs a bunch of just like one of tech attackers. It doesn't really necessarily lean too hard into the Drampa. It's got situational attackers. Go on the Night March train here. We got our because Karen wasn't enough. They printed another hard attack for Night March. Do you ever? What do you think about the Oricorio?
Yeah, the supernatural dance. You 1 energy, put 1 damage counter on your opponent's board for each Pokemon in their discard. Usually what this would do is put 3 damage counters on Joltik for a knockout, and then put like extra damage counters onto Shaman EX. And after, maybe even 2, if you're attacking for 9 damage counters, you're going to kill 2 Joltiks and kill a Shaman EX. This card would really just found ways to get extra prizes. It was, I don't know.
Yeah,
more effective than Karen. You recover it. You Night Stretcher it back in this format.
Rescue Stretcher. Come on, man.
Yeah, same card,
very
same
similar.
Effect, very similar. Yeah, I mean, we were just talking. It's funny. We talked about like the standard Drampa garb, which was preying on all the items, and then we look at like Night March that was playing 30 plus items, and here's the deck that comes back. This yin yang of playing a bunch of broken items, and then decks come along that target the items, and it kind of goes back and forth.
Yeah, very cool stuff here. You had Trevenant. This actually wasn't a
Oh
super
my
popular
gosh.
deck at this point in the format. Trevenant kind of came in and out. Like it was actually still being played all the way when tag teams were legal, but we see a Trevenant, a rare Trevenant getting second place at this one. Trevenant is Jellicent EX in the year of, it was actually printed in 2014, back in Flashfire. But you got some additional support in XY Breakpoint with the Trevenant Break. So game plan is very simple. You shove a Trevenant in the active, which you could do on the first turn via the Wally. So you could put a Trevenant in the active on turn one, because again you can play supporters on turn one. So your opponent, if you opened Phantom and you opened Wally or Tapu Lele to get Wally, then you would put a Trevenant in the active, and your opponent would simply have no item cards from the first turn. You would then just play a bunch of annoying cards and hopefully run your opponent over without them really doing too much. And again, all these decks are very item reliant. So even though the damage output was pretty bad, it was 60 for 3. And then
Read the Trevenant Break. That was the main attack you were using.
Yeah. And you had Trevenant Break, which was okay. I mean, when it was standard legal, it was good. But I mean, most Pokemon in this format survived like 6 of these, so it took a long time. Put 3 damage counters on each of your opponent's Pokemon. Very slow, but it does add up very quickly against these decks with lower HP, right? The Garbodors, the Night Marches, right? You had these single price decks that really got destroyed hard by Silent Fear.
There was also some interesting dynamics where Garbotoxin shut off the item lock, like the Garbodor, but to get Garbodor online, you had to attach a tool, that's an item at this point. So it was like if the Garbodor player gets a tool on the Trubbish before Trevenant comes online, then they can play items the whole game. But if they don't, they can never put down the tool, and then they can never play items. So
yes. You did use Xerosic though. You did play Xerosic, yes. So you'd have one tool removal. So it was not a you get it and you win the game, but you get it and you're at a substantial advantage. I don't know if there's anything else that's super interesting here. There's we should find a Sable Garb. There's a Sable Garb there.
Wait, look at. Oh, never mind. Yeah, Sable Garb would be cool.
It's like there's a lot of Garbodor dominance here, right? Very centralized around the Garbodor dominance here. We go to San Jose with another Azul GG dub. A bunch of Night March in this one. But this is now when Shining Legends came out. This is the true start of Expanded being the treacherousness that it was. We have we're going to skip the first place deck and we're going to go down to a straight Zoroark, because this is like really where the fun is at. Yeah, this is the one. This is the one I'm imagining.
Yes. Here we go. Oh boy.
This deck was like coined as being called like Lonzo Zoroark, or like it was like some weird name for it. I don't even remember why it was called that. This is like when Lonzo Ball was like getting into the NBA.
I don't remember.
They called it. I know that this. I think it was like mostly these like Pacific Northwest guys playing the deck. So this is a California regional, so mostly West Coast guys at this point, because people weren't really traveling across North America to play in these things that often. But you see like Bodie Tracy and Simon Road, 2 guys on the, and Liam Williams as well, like 3 guys from like the West Coast that were like pointing this deck. You have Keon Amini, who's also on the West Coast there. They all kind of played this deck in this 2017 era in the winter of this season, and this deck was really good. You wanna take the lead on what this deck was hoping to accomplish?
Holy cow. Okay. So we've mentioned Hexmaniac chaining. This deck basically took Hex chaining to the next level. As the format went on, the list became more and more optimized to literally play Hexmaniac for 5 turns in a row, and that was the game. So of course, one thing I should mention, Zoroark does 20 damage for each of your bench Pokemon, and then a natural counter to this was the Sudowoodo which says that players can only have 4 bench Pokemon. So in order to get around Sudowoodo, we're just going to play a Hexmaniac every turn of the game, turn it off, bench our Pokemon up to 8, because the Stadium Skyfield let us had 8 Pokemon in play. And so not only are we blocking all of our opponent's abilities during their turn, we're also turning off Sudowoodo so we can do max damage. We have Execute.
Yeah, how do you get 8 Pokemon on your board after you got to find 4 Pokemon? How are we gonna find 4 Pokemon?
So Execute's ability. Once during your turn, you just put it from your discard into your hand. So yeah, that gave you 2 Pokemon. I mean, I think at one point these decks were playing more than 2 Execute. I think some were playing
got up to 3. And the way this ability worked is you could use the same Execute as many times as you wanted, because the game doesn't know that this is the same Execute. So you could with very similar to the new Zoroark and Zoroark, right? You discard a card, draw 2. You could just discard this Execute for every single trade. So you just drew 2 cards without a drawback. So
yeah, you could discard cards if you wanted or not. You can Ultra Ball for free. And yeah, you would do 220 with Zoroark and deny abilities every turn.
Was
it not 220?
What is 9? You could do 9 Pokemon, so you do like 180. But
right.
You do 180, you do 210 with Choice Band. So 210 was kind of the new soft cap. You can see Zoroark itself has 210. I don't know what the game designers were thinking, but these things just like knock themselves out if you had a full bench and a Choice Band. So yeah, you would get into these games where you turn 1 do like not that many things, and then turn 2 you suddenly put like 3 Zoroarks into play. You have 8 Pokemon on the board. You play Colress, which draws a card for every single bench Pokemon. So you'd Colress on turn 2 a lot of the time. You like Bridget turn 1, get your Pokemon, turn 2 Colress and draw like a 12 card hand, and then you would just play Hexmaniac the next like 3 turns. And
where this deck evolved to the point where I don't even know if it played Bridget. At one point, I was playing these Zoroark mirrors. You would go first, and you would Hexmaniac to make it so that they can't Hexmaniac you. And then you would just sit there Hexmaniacking until one person couldn't find Hexmaniac. And then the other person would draw like 40 cards with Shaman and Trade. And then they would Tapu Lele for Hexmaniac. And then, oh my God, dude, this was ridiculous.
And we have our friend Puzzle of Time in this deck as well, and for VS Seekers, so you can play Hexmaniac up to 9 times technically, with only 1 copy of it in your deck.
And it has the Karen Seismitoad combo.
It does.
Night March, we're gonna Karen them and then item lock them. So I don't know how Azul won with Night March when all of the top 16 is this Zoroark deck.
No, there's got to be something, right? Because and this deck had Acerola as well. Acerola is pick up a Pokemon, keep all the cards, but it has to have damage on it. So if they like started punching the Seismitoad for less than a 1-shot, you could just chain it. You got a Zoroark. Well. You would attack with the Zoroark. This is actually really cool. You look at this Limitless page here. You see first place, third place, fourth place at this regional with the same list. It's pretty cool. Yeah, I guess you do a little bit of riotous beating with the Zoroark. Nothing else super crazy here. It's a very similar list.
Standard deck.
The standard's a weird word for it, but it's very streamlined. The Zoroark,
very streamlined. Yeah.
These packages were always kind of weird because it's not like no one in this format. You don't even have a card like Nest Ball that you really played. Like Nest Ball was legal, but you just like did not play Nest Ball. So you see a 2/2 Zoroark in here, and you didn't actually really play a way to find Zorua. You just drew into it or Ultra Ball for Zorua. You like look at 2025 Pokemon. That's like such an inefficient thing to like Ultra Ball for an end Zorua on turn 1, but they made it work. And your deck was just powerful enough where you could make these inefficient list choices and get bailed out by how many cards you drew in one turn. And the fact that your discards just didn't really matter. Discard your supporters, doesn't really matter. Discard your Night March pieces, perfect. I want that anyways. Unless you were really discarding VS Seeker, Puzzle of Time, or like double colorless energy, you didn't really care what ended up in the discard pile.
No. You can Shaman twice a turn, 3 times a turn. Yeah. Just draw 15 cards. Not a big deal.
That's not a big deal. Yeah, this Garrett. Wait, is this the Gyarados deck I was talking about earlier? There's no way that this. There's no way this got top 8 at a regional in this format, dude. Like, come on, man. This is
This
the.
has to be terrible.
Oh, it's awful, dude. This deck is so
Oh my gosh.
clunky. The Gyarados does damage for how many damage counters you have on bench Magikarps. You had to like get the stadium, then bench the Magikarps, and then we get the Gyarados, which is a stage 1. Yeah, no, this is bad. By the way, apparently it's a $50 card on TCG Player now, though. I still have those. Maybe I should sell my Gyaradoses.
Maybe it's a cool card, but I didn't know that.
Yeah, these traits. Oh yeah, this is the fun part of the card. You can have 2 tools on the Gyarados, so you could attach double choice span to the Gyarados to reach your numbers. Because you had to attach tools. You could get 3 Magikarps on the bench, and you still would not hit all of the numbers you needed. So you'd also need the damage modifiers. Yeah, that's.
Or you could play Night March, and you could do the same thing with a basic on like turn 1.
Yeah.
With less effort, yeah.
Or you could just ability lock your opponent for 6 straight turns.
Yeah, that's good too. 2 sides of the coin. Dallas.
This Dallas Regionals, this was fun. I played Zoroark this one. I was actually at this one. Okay. So most of these Zoroark decks are kind of just like you can see, they just kind of took the same stuff. They optimized it a little bit further. They get the red card. Yeah, no, this was.
Oh, no.
Okay. Red card. It was a one of, but don't worry, we'll find it because we're drawing half of our deck. And dude, sometimes it would be like you would battle compressor away the red card and then puzzle time for the red card to get it out of the discard. Yeah, also banned from expanded now. Item card, your opponent shuffles their hand into the deck and draws 4 cards. So we could
do it on turn 1.
On turn 1, we could item lock the opponent, or not. We could item lock the opponent if we're going second, but we could ability lock the opponent, put them on a 4-card hand before they have a chance to do anything, and then just draw like 20 cards for the rest of the game. Yeah,
this format was so stupid.
Dude, it's so funny. God. Well, you didn't even mention the Alolan Muck. The Alolan Muck.
Oh yeah.
Is it dual sided? It's dual sided, right? This was like so it shut off basic abilities for both players in play. So it was like it's kind of like one of those things that you had to time. You'd put the Alolan Muck in play on like a certain turn to block your opponent. So it's like kind of like a mirror tech. You block the Sudowoodo, you block the Execute, you block the Lele, you block the Shaman, right? So you can kind of time this degeneracy on turn 2 sometimes after you make your opponent do nothing, and then you kind of just lock them out of their entire setup because the entire engine relies on Tapu Lele and Shaman to just draw a bunch of cards. And then you block Sudowoodo against some other matchups where you didn't necessarily need these tactics as much.
These tactics evolved so much. Like it might be hard to believe, guys, but it actually got worse.
Oh, it got way worse. Point,
you would on turn 1. Yeah, I mean when we get to like Tina Chomp tag team, it gets even worse. But for the Zoroark ones, you would play red card on turn 1, put them to 4, and then you would play Delinquent, which your opponent discards 3 cards. They go to 1, and then you would play Peeking Red card, which shuffles your opponent's hand into their deck, and they draw that many cards. So
this card's actually legal now. That card's actually legal now. It's not the same card, but there's some sort of card. I don't remember exactly what it's called, but it's like the same effect, but it's Iono, so that card goes to the bottom and they draw a new card.
Oh, okay.
Oh wait, no. I think it's a card for every prize card they have. No, it's not. Okay, I don't know what the card is called, but there's like something. It's like maybe like a perfume or something like that. I don't know.
Some item card that shuffles their hand away and get some cards back or something.
They put cards to the bottom and they draw the same amount of cards. I'm like pretty sure that's what it is. So, anyways, that card's actually legal, but you have no way to exploit it right now.
Yeah, I mean, in that format, you would just give your opponent 1 random card on turn 1, and yeah, that was usually pretty good. Dude.
This is a fun deck.
What? Oh my gosh, you want to get this one?
Yeah, although, oh my gosh, this is so much better than the version I was thinking of. So yeah, this is Shock Lock. So essentially this is a deck out deck. You have a Pokemon called Stoutland. If it's in the active, your opponent can't play supporter cards. And you have the Raichu. The Raichu has an ability that says when you evolve into Raichu, your opponent's active Pokemon is paralyzed. And the important context for this format is the only cards that people would play to switch in this format were Guzma and AZ. AZ is the same effect as Turo. Guzma is the Prime Catcher effect, but on a supporter. So if you got paralyzed, your only ways to really get out of paralysis were to evolve out of paralysis, or to have like a random switch or escape rope in your deck, which no one really had. So you would take this Stoutland, which had a Lillipup, which had a very niche but very strong effect in this deck, which says put an item card from your discard into your hand. And with Stoutland, you could use the Lillipup's attack via the Shining Celebi, which had there's a few effects like this where you can use attacks from previous evolutions. And then previously, before the Shining Celebi, they would play Memory Energy, which has the same effect, but on an energy card. And then you would pick up this card called De-Evolution Spray every turn. You pick up the Raichu that you just evolved, and then you evolve it again, and then you de-evolve it, and then you evolve it again, and you infinitely paralyze your opponent. So they eventually deck out, and because you're recurring cards, you never deck out. Oh, this card's got to be banned and expanded as well, right? Oh no, it's legal. Oh my, no, it's actually legal somehow. This is another fun piece of the puzzle.
Yeah.
You have an infinite loop with this card called Lusamine. Put 2 supporter cards or stadiums from your discard into your hand, so you can Lusamine for Lusamine plus another supporter or stadium card, so you could infinitely loop cards and never deck out. So yeah, that was fun. This is a Ross Cawthon deck. So and actually JP played it. This is pre JP. Some of you guys might be getting emails from JP now. I think this is the same JP. Should be.
What does JP run nowadays?
He's part of the Pokemon Play organization. Like I think I might have gotten an email from him about my he might send me an email about like the surveys for the regionals, and I think sometimes he sends emails that are like addressed from him for like certain like prizing things. He's like part of the play team.
Gotcha.
Can't play Pokemon if you're a Pokemon employee, unfortunately. They don't allow it. There goes everyone's dream jobs. Okay, there's nothing else that is like super, super crazy here. Oh my gosh, actually, there's a Wailord. Let's talk about Wailord.
No.
Wailord?
Oh my gosh.
No?
Sure. We can look. I feel like Wailord is outclassed.
It's got to be outclassed, but this version of Wailord was kind of sick. I played against a Wailord on my win-in in this one, because this deck actually had like a definitively good Zoroark matchup. That was the one thing it did have. Because you just ran them. They only had double colorless, right? And they had puzzle, but they never one-shot you. And you played 4 E-hammers, so you could discard the double colorless and run them out of energies. You also had this the Xurkitree has like the no special energies can hit it ability. So you'd play that. Okay, so this Wailord deck is another deck out deck. It's obviously the deck out deck. I want to say it's like the deck out deck.
Yeah.
It played 4 Wailords and a variety of different random stuff. And Wailord had 250 HP on a basic, which was like the highest basic HP, right? Even like most basic EXs now don't have that much HP. I think like Team Rocket's Mewtwo has 280 and everything else, and Blood Moon has 260, and that's about it. Like everything else is below 250 still. So 250 back when it was printed in 2015 was ridiculous. Jason Klaczynski won US Nationals with this archetype, but since 2015.
Oh no. He beat it in the finals.
Oh, he beat it? He played. Oh, don't worry. He played Seismitoad and he beat Wailord in the finals via the unreleased tactics of timer manipulation in 2015.
Yeah,
but it was smart at that time. It was smart. He was doing a good thing there because no one did it in 2015.
It was cool. It was cool back then.
It was cool back then. Okay. Back to the topic. This Wailord deck plays 4 of every single disruptive supporter. Flare Grunt discards an energy off your opponent's active. Plumeria is discard 2 cards and discard energy anywhere on your opponent's side of the board. You had 4 Enhanced Hammers, which discarded a special, and you had Max Potion. Oh yeah, someone mentioned on a previous episode that Wally's Compassion, it returns the energies to the hand. It doesn't discard them. I didn't know that. No, it's better because you can use your enriching energy on the Mega Lopunny again.
Bruh.
Okay, Max Potion is an item card. It's one of the most broken item cards. It's discard all the energies attached to the Pokemon, heal all damage from the Pokemon. When you're a stall deck, that doesn't care about attacking. That means you have an item card that fully heals your Wailord. So you would have the ability to max push and heal, and then play a supporter card. And of course, you had every other broken card that we've been talking about: 4 puzzles a time, 3 VS Seeker. So you would just destroy your opponent's resources with this big tank, and you would use Cleffa's attack on a stadium card called Tropical Beach. So you could draw until you have 7 cards at the end of your turn, and then it ends your turn. So you could play a bunch of cards down, drop until you have 7 as your theoretical attack for the turn, and there's pretty much no downside. So unless you had like a built-in infinite loop in your deck or something that was like a hard counter for Wailord, this deck was actually very, very solid. It was just the biggest barrier for playing Wailord was actually the fact that this Tropical Beach is a Worlds promo, and it costs about $300 per Tropical Beach. So I think at this point in 2018, it probably would have been like $300 a card. So it was a pretty big financial barrier to play this deck in the first place, because this deck was terrible if you didn't have Tropical Beach. You like really, really needed Tropical Beach.
Yeah, it was the whole deck. And the deck wasn't that good anyways. It was pretty good. It was like
pretty good.
There were more fun things to do. I'd rather Shock Lock than Wailord stall. There's actually a decent amount of Wailord.
Look at the bottom of day 2. Holy man, there's like Wailords all over like the bottom of day 2. Yeah, not great.
All right. Next.
We can only cover so many toxic decks in one episode.
Yeah, you think we're doing a good job of making people wish they played this format?
Dude, the worst part about it is I like look forward to the expanded events a lot. Like I really like playing the expanded events, because as like a 13-year-old with nothing to do, I would just sit and make the most garbage creations in expanded, and I would just test them, and they would always be terrible, but there's just too many broken combinations to try. It was like the biggest time sink, but it was fun. I mean, it was fun to deck build. It wasn't fun to play, but it was fun to like go through the creative process of like trying to build something that was supposed to be good. Getting to the tournament was the least fun part of the process.
Yeah, and then everyone was just playing like Gets This on turn 1 at the tournament, and you're just like, oh, sick.
Yeah, well, actually in the lower age divisions, like in seniors and in juniors and seniors, there was just some juniors and seniors that couldn't afford the cards or just didn't have the cards. So you'd play like round 1 to 3, and you just like get paired against a standard deck, and your opponent like, literally cannot play the game at all. They just have lost the game before they even start turn 1. That was the fun part. You look like such an expert just putting your opponent on one unplayable card on turn 1, and then like smirking at them as like you're like a smug 13-year-old.
And you're drawing like 20 cards a turn, and they like are draw passing. Oh god.
It just like reminds me of just like watching like Yu-Gi-Oh anime, where your opponent's got no idea what's going on, and they're just infinitely comboing on you.
That's basically what most of the decks were doing. Yeah, I didn't see much interesting in that tournament there, to be honest.
No, is Europe? So Europe didn't really have much many expanded tournaments. The Europe had almost no expanded tournaments, so they didn't really have as many. Oh, there's a Sable Garb though. I've been looking for a Sable Garb.
Yes, this is a good one to talk about.
A fantastic one to talk about. All right, Sableye. Grab 2 item cards from your discard pile. You remember our friends? Puzzle of Time. So your attack just reads: get 2 cards from your discard pile and put them into your hand. And you, for the most part, wanted to play item cards, so it's more like you grab puzzles as a way to delay your choice until you figured out what your opponent did. So you'd grab 2 puzzles, and then your opponent would do whatever they did. Most of the time, it was pretty controlled, because you're kind of figuring out what's on the top of their deck. And then they'd pass, and then you kind of do whatever you needed to do. So the most important card in this deck is actually, I think the 2 most important cards. Number 1 is Life Dew. This is an A-spec card that says, if the Pokemon this is attached to gets knocked out, not even by damage, just knocked out, your opponent takes 1 fewer prize card. So you would infinitely be able to loop Life Dew with Puzzle of Time on Sableye, which meant if your opponent couldn't apply enough pressure to knock out Sableye every single turn, you would be able to recur this after 2 turns. So you would you'd grab any 2 cards, and then the goal was essentially just to run your opponent out of resources. So Rowan mentioned Delinquent red card, which we see in this deck. So put your opponent on a 4-card hand. They have to discard 3 of those cards, And from there they have very few things to work with. Now, I don't think at this point peeking red card was legal, so you didn't have the ability to truly put your opponent on 0, but it was very, very close. Once your opponent was on a dead hand, you would play this card called Trick Shovel, where you would look at the opponent's top card and you can discard that card or return it. So if your opponent's top card was dead, you could let them keep it. If it was good, you could discard it. So you had the ability to mostly eliminate your opponent's good top decks. So they would just top deck dead cards for the majority of the game. You would try to get to a spot where you had Trick Shovel in hand and then double Puzzle of Time, so you could double Trick Shovel. So you could then control your opponent's next 2 top decks. So unless their next 3 top decks were all playable, which most of the time it's not going to be, they're just dead drawing out of the game. Yeah, it was not a fun time, but you could control all of your prize cards. Gladian, the supporter card there on the right, was look at your prize cards, grab one, put the Gladian back, or put a different card back. I can't remember.
Put the Gladian in, so you can only get one prize, but
you can only get one of the pieces, right? And
get life too, right?
The part of it about this deck that actually truly made it kind of interesting was the fact that once Trash Lanch was printed, instead of just using the Garbodor that would ability lock, you could also start taking prize cards. So you could get your opponent down to this pseudo lock, but kind of understanding that you might at some point lose the lock, but you would just play a Trick Shovel, see a top card being dead, and then just pivot into the Trash Lanch and just start taking knockouts, because you've discarded your opponent's entire hand and all their resources. They're going to have items in the discard. So yeah, that was a cool innovation, but this archetype was mostly just fully control up until that Trash Lanch came out in Guardians Rising. That was an all-time deck, and definitely one that was fun to try to build, but not one that was fun to play.
As a teenager, I hated Sableye Garb. I lost to it all the time.
Do you play against? Must have played against like that Daytona regionals. Daytona Beach. It must have been this season, right? Or maybe it might have been the start of next season. Maybe actually let's go back to page 3. I think it might have been at the start of this one.
We played against each other there?
No, I wasn't at this Daytona Beach, but this was an expanded regional. This is like the first expanded regional. Oh no, there's Fort Wayne as well. But I remember this Daytona Beach. I think I ended up I didn't go there, but I was like working with Bradner for this one, and just out of the kindness of my heart, I wasn't even attending, but I just built some Sable Garb lists and we tested them. So I remember there was like 3 Sable. There's no seniors results, but I think there's like 3 Sable Garbs in this top cut. It's pretty bad.
Oh, there's so many bad options to choose from. Every deck is a control deck of some kind.
Yeah. Well,
all the good ones, at least.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say all the good ones. We have. There's actually not that many expanded tournaments. We got 2 more. We got a Salt Lake City.
All right.
Which one was won by Sable Garb. Don't think there's much else here. Yeah.
You want to click on Gedimer's Zoroark list? I'm curious to see if it's evolved at all.
Probably a little bit. It's got yeah. This is the one that you're talking about. This is what you're looking for. 2 Hex Maniacs.
There we go.
4 Executes. 2 red cards. Oh my goodness. Yeah, this
deck. You're literally just playing Hex Maniac on turn 1, and then Hex Maniac on turn 2, and Hex Maniac on turn 3, and you just play Hex Maniac the whole game. That's all you do.
Dude, and on top of that,
you can bridge it.
Dude, it has the Executor. You can break your opponent's Hex Maniac block by using Blockade to shut off supporters.
I think that's why this is here, isn't it?
It must be, right?
You would put up Executor, Blockade, and then they can't Hex, and then you would red card Hex them, and then you would use all your abilities and what a stupid evolution of a meta game.
Yeah, and you play 4 Executes, so you actually open the Execute willingly if you want to open the Execute.
Yeah, just turn to Executor.
So that's bad.
Jeez.
And there's actually a lot of more Drampa Garb and Guardy. Actually, I want to peek at a Guardy list here.
Yeah, what's going on here?
Just so fair. Like this is ridiculously fair for everything else that's going on. I mean, I guess it's just like
can't be good.
I guess the one thing it has going on for it, and this is like a very I think we went back to this format, we see a lot more of this, is there's onboard draw. You have Octillery in this deck. Onboard, no, Hexmaniac. No, it just doesn't even work.
Red card Hexmaniac.
Yeah, because I was like thinking like all the hand control stuff, you can kind of have onboards draw, because that's kind of what you have now, right? If you have onboard draw, hand disruption isn't very effective, but when you add ability lock into that conversation, it's done for.
Yeah. Sableye had Garbodor to ability lock.
Yeah. These West Coast regionals were kind of they were like so unoptimized that if you were like a good player at this time, it was so easy to win. So that's why you'll see like all these like fair decks kind of sneaking in here, but you'll like see right, like Azul in top 8, Gedimer there at 11th. Like it was, if you were paying attention to this format and putting the time in, you could top cut, I think, every regional if you went back to this era.
Yeah.
Roanoke. Oh my gosh, a Buzz Rock won.
How is that possible? Is this just like a fair Buzzrock deck?
It's a fair Buzzrock deck. I mean,
it's what? There's not even an expanded card in here, is there?
Chorus, Scramble Switch. Chorus. That's it. I think it's actually just no. I guess Karina would have been legal this time. I think no, Karina would have been legal. I definitely would have played because this is like right before NAIC that I won, and it's actually like
expanded.
Karina's gotta be expanded. This is like it's actually very similar to standard. I guess the idea is that you're just low maintenance enough with Buzzwole. But what I don't actually understand this. Don't they just one shot your Buzzwole and you just don't care about the fact that you're weak to fighting?
Yeah, that's my feeling.
Well, I mean, I guess if we look at this top 8, somehow there's only one Zoroark in our top 8 here, but a bunch of decks that lose to Zoroark. Except for Wailord. I'm sure this Ryan
I'm sure the Wailord
must have just destroyed the Zoroark, right? That's gotta be the only viable solution. I see Miss Magius here. Is this the Miss Magius? Are we in trouble? No, this is not the Miss Magius I'm thinking of. We're not quite there. Wait, what's our last expanded? Do we have another expanded?
Roanoke was the last one.
Last one, yeah, because at the end of the season they only had standard events. You would you only see the ones that were quick shout out to myself here. They got seniors on here. Yes.
There you go. Oh, look at that. Beautiful. Should we look at your Buzzwole list? It'll look the exact same as that expanded one.
It is. It's actually like very, very similar. Yeah, like literally the only cards are Karina and Scramble Switch that are not included in here by choice. Or by force, I guess, rather. The other cards that aren't included are by choice. It's a little bit of different style though, because you just played baby Buzzwole for the most part. Like even it was actually like it was weird to play 2 Buzzwole GX at this time. Like most of us played 1. But
oh wow.
The thing is, when you're in younger divisions, you don't build these hyper optimized decks. You just build things that work and you don't make mistakes, and then your win rate's really, really high. You don't need to destroy the format to do well.
Yeah, you don't need to optimize.
Yeah, you just need like the fundamentally solid stuff, right? That's like
I agree.
Usually how you do well. But
I think nowadays it's a lot more competitive. I think there's a lot of teenagers working really hard to be the best. When we played, there was maybe 5 to 10 people like really, really trying.
Yeah, the number is not huge. Wait, sorry, we're gonna continue this conversation, but quick shout out to Mark, dude, top 16.
Oh yeah, shout out Mark, top 16. Yeah, with I remember he played against Igor Costa in the last round. That was cool. And what was his Zoroark list like? This was like a really good standard deck.
Yeah, this was just like a solid deck. I actually played this to Worlds, regretfully. I didn't play this list, of course, but I played this archetype to Worlds, and then I ran into 4 baby Buzzgarbs because that deck was on stream, and then seniors just swapped to it the night before after seeing it on stream, which was kind of crazy. And then I hit 4. Yeah, that was not good. This deck's cool though. This deck was like one of like the most offensive Zoroark deck that was good in standard. I thought it was like the coolest way to play the deck.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I liked the more tactical ones, the ones that were more, resource draining, control style. Yo, we didn't even talk about resource management at Rangaroo. I guess that was after this time.
It must have just not been played. This is here it is. Here's the I know I knew that Torrid played this like Zoro control crap. All right. Well, this card's got to be banned from expanded. Yeah, you're banned for sure, buddy.
Yeah, dude.
Put 3 cards for 1 energy. Put 3 cards from your discard pile on the bottom of your deck in any order, and you play Zoroark, and you get down to 0 cards. So your card, it's even better than Sableye. It reads, put 3 cards into your hand in most cases.
And 2 of them are Puzzle of Time.
But do you notice, look how many Tapu Lele's Tord is playing.
He's a genius.
Dude, he's a genius, man. This is truly like the Tord peak, man. He's still like insanely good, but like his deck building prowess was just on another level comparatively right now. It was just too good. This Zoro control deck was like the bane of my existence. It was like you would purposefully, as a Zoro Rock player, would cut the strong energies out of your deck for fighting energies because this deck had so many enhanced hammers, and you just lose the game if you ever put a strong energy on your Lycanroc. You can never set it up. What would happen is you would like take 2 at some point, like eventually after like hours of hard work, you'd take 2 with your Lycanroc, and then your opponent would just go E-Hammer a Flare Grunt. They discard both of your energies on the Lycanroc, and then you just cry, and then
you'd pass.
You would just pass, and they would just they would like hit the goblin emote in Clash Royale.
Which one?
Me.
Yes. This was fun.
This was in standard though. This wasn't even expanded. This deck was just like unironically like a powerful control deck in standard that just utilized like all of its resources well. Yeah, actually, I wanna have our tangent for the last like 5 minutes here before we hop off. I gotta go to my locals, man.
Okay.
This idea that seniors work a whole lot harder now. Like when we were. And part of that's also like tournament size. Like tournament size in seniors is ridiculous now. The NAIC last season was 450 seniors or something like that.
That's big. Yeah.
The biggest one in our era was that 2018 one, which was 230 or so. Like it was not actually. I guess I can see they'll have the data here. 270. But you look at the NAIC from last season. In seniors and of course juniors as well, right? But it's 419. 400, wow, it's just huge. So this this new era of seniors, you got to work a lot harder, even just on the basis that the tournaments are a lot bigger. It's hard to be really really solid when you have to go through 4 times the amount of players in the average regional, especially the regionals. The average regional in seniors like 250. It was like 80 players when we were in seniors. So that's a really really big part. But I don't necessarily think that too much has changed from the idea of just like playing solid decks. Like the average senior is like quite solid, but I think in general like breaking the format is very very secondary. I think like just playing fundamentally solid Pokemon is a good idea. Here's actually this is my best case study for this. Nate, I think he won this one. Or no, this is the wrong one.
Is it the one he won with Joltik? Is that what you're going to talk about?
No, but this is like Nathan. No. This is Nathan Osterkatz's Limitless page, and he's been playing this Pulsar deck, and you know how we feel about Pulsar. It's like aggressively mediocre, and he's had like back to back like at least top 4s with this. Like what is in all honesty like the power level in this archetype is deck. The power level in this deck is just like mediocre. It is like consistently 45-55 into like every matchup. So if you're just like playing a fundamentally solid deck and play well, you're just going to perform really, really well because the skill level is lower, right? You don't need to play the most broken archetype and break the format. If you play really well, you'll just win with something that has even matchups. I actually think it's still very, very true to this day.
It's a good case study. It's an amazing case study.
Yeah, play what you know and play it well, all right? Matchup, like breaking the format is like so secondary and so not worth it in the scope of how much time you have as a Pokemon player, right?
Oh my god, I agree. Yeah, especially nowadays. I can't remember the last time I tried to really make a really cool deck.
Dude, I can literally show you.
You can show me. Oh, the quad wheezing was mentioned earlier. Have we talked about this on the pod before?
We did, yeah. We like briefly mentioned this atrocity. I think that's that atrocity and this guy right here. That's a good place to leave it. This is gotta be like the ugliest Pokemon ever, dude.
Yo, one tournament I cosplayed as him. It was a pretty terrible cosplay. I was wearing a suit, I had a green tie and a foam. I cut a styrofoam green piece of styrofoam into a mustache and taped it to my face.
Yeah.
I was Galarian Weezing in day two, bro. And then I would play against Lugias, and I would pull up with the Galarian Weezing mustache taped on my face, and they would draw past the whole game.
It's like in real life internet troll.
Yes. Yo, if you look at my go tournaments and then I don't know, just go to my Toronto regionals with the Weezing deck.
Yeah. Here we go. Yeah, this one.
Yeah. Oh wait, that was it. Wait, can we see my matchups? Oh, that would be Labs. Ah, it's too much.
Labs doesn't even exist this far back. I'm sorry. You have to you'd have to use the what was it? What was Jared Grimes' thing from 2 seasons ago that got taken down? Like
Was that Pokedata? No.
It wasn't. It was Pokestat. I think it's Pokestats. I think it's
Oh.
Pokestats. I don't know, something like that. Where you like, yeah, like all the archetypes like kind of like posted there. I think that's what it was. But it was like the selfless submission. That's like an entirely different topic.
Holy tangent.
Holy tangent. Yeah, no, like we're cutting it off here. Local
Yeah,
starts.
let's cut it.
Local
Let us
starts
know,
in 20
guys.
minutes, man. I gotta get over there.
We've got a few weeks here. No more tournament results. What do you guys want to see us talk about? Maybe we could do some more standard formats, some more expanded. There's some more decks that we didn't talk about today. So let us know in the comment section. And we'll see you guys next week.